All right, Matthew, time for a little news or noise. Let's start off with Bills wide receiver Robert Foster. 20.8 fantasy points, on track for a top 10 finish. He's been in double digits 4 of his last 5 games. Is Foster's production news or noise?
Okay, this is news. I mean, okay, the volume still isn't where you want it to be, and let's face it, Josh Allen, not the most accurate quarterback, but Foster, clearly the Bills' most consistent wide receiver. He's gone over 90 yards in 4 of the past 5. He's caught 70% of his targets in that span. Obviously, Buffalo's backfield, their entire backfield, basically banged up, as is Isaiah McKenzie, their slot receiver. So Foster should get even more opportunities this week against the Patriots. Very still boomer bust, but the expectation is the Patriots should be up. They're going to have to throw, and when they're throwing these days, it's to Robert Foster. He's a boomer bust wide receiver 3 in Week 16. His production is definitely news. Who's next, Secret Squirrel?
All right, it took 15 weeks, but Doug Baldwin finally finished as a top 10 wide receiver this season thanks to a pair of touchdown catches. Is Baldwin's resurgence news or noise?
An errant throw. I think it's news. Newsy look. Obviously, guy's been a major disappointment for much of this season. But if you have him and you're still alive, this game has to make you feel better about starting him next week. Baldwin now very quietly has scored in 3 of his past 4 games. He averaged over 14 air yards per target on Sunday, his most since Week 6. Let's be honest, Seattle likely going to have to throw more than usual this week against the Chiefs. They play Kansas City on Sunday, so Baldwin should see plenty of opportunities. Feel like, again, we're sort of in wide receiver 3 range, but given the talent of his quarterback and his talent, a healthy Doug Baldwin has to make you feel good. Took a while, but he's finally there. This is news. Who's next?
All right, Matthew, time to talk about a real team. Lions running back Zach Zenner got in the end zone again for his 2nd straight double-digit scoring week. Zenner's playoff production, news or noise, Matthew?
What a shock. Daniel managed to get a Lion into the show.
What?
It's noise. You heard me. Obviously, Zener, double-digit carries and a touchdown in consecutive games. You like that. But both of those came in low-scoring contests with the Cardinals and the Bills this past Sunday. He might continue to see some early down work over LeGarrette Blount, but I don't think he gets the same volume this week in a matchup with the Vikings. We know if the Lions fall behind, they're going to rely more on Theo Riddick. So I'd be very nervous trusting Zach Zenner this week in a tough matchup against Minnesota. So I think this is noise, unfortunately. Secret Squirrel, who's next?
All right, last one. Mike Williams is currently the number 2 scorer in all of fantasy this week, thanks to 36.5 points on Thursday night. Was this obviously expected output? News or noise, Matthew?
Yeah, this is news. You know, I heard from so many fantasy managers that, like, if they managed to survive Derrick Henry the week before, now they've got Mike Williams, okay? Like somebody that just started him as a fluke. But Keenan Allen going out. Obviously, Mike Williams stepped up, 3 touchdowns, 36.5 fantasy points. You see it there on your screen. Look, there's no question. His fantasy value will certainly be impacted by the health of Keenan Allen, but it's hard to imagine the Chargers not giving him a larger role following what he did on Thursday night. Remember, season highs in targets and catches against the Chiefs. It's the first time in his career that he's seen at least 6 targets in consecutive games. So you like that, right? At least 6 targets now in back-to-back games. Williams already has 3 multi-touchdown games this year. That's tied for second most in the NFL. The matchup with Baltimore this week, obviously not ideal, but Williams' size in the red zone is enough to make him a top waiver priority, especially if Keenan Allen were to miss this week.